channel, RJAM News. To all Teleradio Bandido viewers and listeners, you can now watch Teleradio Bandido on our new YouTube channel, RJAM News. Hit the subscribe button and like the video. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified when a new video gets uploaded. Don't miss out on our dynamite lineup.
Filipino heroism, ingenuity, marksmanship, tatak saludo kami. Isang pagkilala sa galing ng mamamayang Pilipino, hatid ay serbisyo saan man sa mundo. Natatanging kwento ng mga overseas Filipino workers, OFW advocates, legal luminaries, educators, scientists, and inventors. Mga piling Pilipinong patuloy na nag-aangat sa pagtingin at pagkilala ng sambayanan. Tatak saludo kami. Pinangungunahan ni Johnny Gomez. Tatak saludo kami. Tuwing araw ng Sabado mula alas 2 hanggang alas 3 ng hapon. Mapapanood at mapapakinggan sa DZRJ 8:10 AM sa Radio Bandido TV, Sky Cable Channel 224, TV Plus boxes at free to air. Simulcast live sa www.facebook.com/DZRJ 8:10 AM at sa YouTube RJAM News.
Pugad vloggers, ang kurap titirisin, salot sa bayan wawalisin, walang sasantuhin, ang saya-saya nakakabaliw, kasama natin ang tropa. Pugad vloggers, Pugad vloggers.
Yes. Good evening mga kapugad. This is Attorney Darwin Cañete. Ako po yung host ninyo tonight, no? I'll be here between 7 to 8 p.m. today. Pugad Vloggers is a program that broadcasts here at DZRJ 8:10 a.m. We're live stream at Facebook, no? Sa website ng Facebook, and we are also at YouTube. Yan. So, anyway, hindi po natin kasama ngayon si Attorney Tom Berenguer. He is detained, or detained. He is meron siyang other commitment tonight, so hindi siya available. But nandito naman ako, so we can discuss many things, no? I'll be interacting with you through the chat of the Facebook live stream, no? So yan. So anong magandang nangyari this week? Well, marami. No? This is what, Wednesday, and hindi pa natatapos ang linggo, marami nang nangyari, lalo na within the last 2 days, no? Let's start with the petition. Nag-file ho ng petition ng several human rights group daw, no? We don't know their bona fides, and hindi natin alam ang credentials nila, kung totoo silang mga human rights victims, civil society groups, no? Or marami, may isa pang pari yata doon sa petition. They want to disqualify candidate Bongbong Marcos. Ayaw nilang patakbuhin. For now, ang kampo ng candidate na si BBM ay hindi nagko-comment. Sabi niya, no, we'll wait for, antayin natin yung actual petition na matanggap namin. Alangan naman mag-react sila sa media because this case is a formal case. Tama yun. Ang mga ganong klaseng mga moves bakipagtalaktakan sa sa public, hindi naman. So after the Harvard, Oxford, sa Oxford issue nila, naghanap na naman sila ng nakalkal nila, no, na convicted daw si BBM at hindi pwedeng tumakbo bilang presidential candidate Alam niyo po, natakbo na yung tao ng congressman, senator, vice president. Ngayon lang to nakalkal. Siguro talagang pinagbuhusan nila ng panahon, no? And it's hard to think na ito ay product ng mga groups na ito. I'm sure merong yan ng mga team of lawyers, no? Na or at least yung mga mahilig I can imagine. Na-imagine ko lang po. Isang kwarto, anong pwede nating iba to kay BBM ngayong linggo, no? Hihiluin siya sa dami ng kaso, any kind of nuisance and any kind of anything to put in his way. Ako'y nalulungkot sa ganun kasi sila yung nagsasabi, "Oy, si Professor will be joining us." Good. Hello, Prof. Thank you for
Hello,
joining
sir.
me.
Oh, no problem.
Oo.
Saktong-sakto kasi nung nagsabi ka na you need company,
Yes.
katatapos ko lang sulatin yung yung column ko for the Manila Times. So medyo libre ako, kaya I'm here.
Yes. No, I was just talking about, this is Professor Van Impe, our resident intellectual historian,
No.
all-around social commentator and pundit. Di ba? Yun doon natin ilagay doon. Columnist for the Manila Times. Tama? So we look forward to your article when it's published. So anyway, Prof, I was just talking about yung disqualification case. Oh, kasi I find it rather strange that after the guy has run for several posts, ngayon lang nakalkal ito.
Yun nga. Mahilig sila sa ganyan, ano? Mahilig sila sa ganyan. It's not meant to be parang it's not meant to really stop him kasi I don't really think these people believe that yung disqualification case will prosper, no? For the reasons that you've already mentioned. Kasi kung talagang if there is substance to this disqualification case, dapat matagal na nila yan na file, di ba, no? Because
Yes.
this is not the first time naman that BBM ran for national office, di ba, no?
Tama.
So, lang talaga, harassment lang talaga. Harassment lang talaga. Pang-asar lang, I think, no?
Yes.
Or baka for lack of anything better to do.
But I think it's going to kakaroon to ng backlash because obviously it's a harassment suit.
Yeah. Kaya I think,
Manipis yung merit For me, manipis
Yes.
binasa ko
yes.
So,
Yun nga, tsaka ako, hindi naman ako masyadong maalam sa batas, no? Pero logically speaking lang naman, kung talagang may merit yan, ang tagal na nilang na-file yan. I mean, di ba? Sa dami ng kumakalkal ng impormasyon about the Marcoses, don't tell me that this is the first time that they discovered this information, di ba? No?
yes.
So, lang talaga, kumbaga parang harassment lang talaga. Wala namang ibang purpose yan, I think.
Pero what does this say about the opponents of BBM? Siyempre, ang number one suspect sa ganitong shenanigans, no, sa itong stunt na ito is the camp of Robredo. Especially since the council na pumirma yata nun is Theodore Te of Sambayan.
Yeah. Well, ako, ang tingin ko kasi is, they are, alam mo naman, ang favorite word ko at saka ng maraming tao, no? Favorite word is narrative, di ba, no?
Yes.
So, narrative building kasi yan Kasi ang narrative nila, di ba? Papansinin mo, inaatake yung diploma. I mean, seriously, di ba, no? Seriously. Ano ba klase issue yan, diploma na yan, di ba? Ako, I've already said my piece about it. Yung sinasabi ko nga is, yung diploma is only important if the person is a fresh graduate, no, or has not had previous experience, di ba?
Tama.
Kasi without any experience, titingnan mo yung scholastic records. Di ba, no?
Tama, tama.
But if the person already has experience, just like halimbawa, ikaw, Iskay, di ba, no? Di ba? Very long na yung experience mo sa trabaho mong yan. Don't tell me na pag inanalyze ko ang qualifications mo, ang sisilipin ko pa ay yung diploma mo. Di ba, no?
Tama, tama. You have a point.
Di ba? So, may tawag nito, may common denominator lahat yan, which is, I think, going back pa to an attack sa father.
Yes.
Diba, no? Doon
Yes.
pa nagsisimula yan, ano? So yung mga narratives like cheater, ano pa ba? Which is funny, no? Which is funny kasi
Yes.
kasi from recent memory, alam natin kung sino ang cheater talaga, di ba, no? That's funny. Kaya nga, so cheater.
I mean, is adultery cheating? It's technically cheating. So,
Ako wala ako dyan. Ay, guys, wala akong judgments dyan. Pero electoral cheating pa.
okay.
Inaano ko.
Cheating is such a general word.
Diba? So mga ganyan ang punto nila eh.
Oh.
Mandaraya, magnanakaw, yung mga ganon, diba? So I think yan yung I think yun ang binibuild up nila. No? Parang chess game yan na nagbi-build sila ng mga pyesa, no? Na ang ultimate objective is to smear or besmirch yung character, no? Yun ang objective nila eh. It's a character assassination. Na parang feeling ko, I mean, haven't we been through this before? So many times eh.
Agree ako dyan. Kasi, remember, kung character assassination ang topic, President Duterte was the one who outed himself na maraming character defects.
Yeah.
So, in fact, yung naninira kay President Duterte, the worst critic was his own, the things coming out from his mouth. But he still won.
Correct. Kaya nga, that should have been, yun nga ako iniisip ko nga eh, parang tipong, when are these people going to learn? Diba, no? Kasi parang, napaka-obvious na eh, no? Na nag-ano pa sila, aside from that, diba? No? Aside from yung character assassination na yan. Na actually, hindi pa kasi President Duterte ang unang niyan eh. Joseph Estrada pa, di ba? Kasi, I don't know if people can remember this, di ba, no? Joseph Estrada yung naggagamble sa casino, womanizer, di ba, no? Et cetera. Wala namang nangyari. Wala namang epekto doon sa kanyang presidential run in 1998, di ba, no? So,
actually, you brought up something interesting eh. Erap himself was convicted, di ba?
Correct.
So if I only looked at the point of conviction as the basis to disqualify him, that did not fly because he was able to run again.
Correct. Saka laki ng votes niya. Laki ng votes
niya.
Oo. He finished second, 'di ba, in the 2010 elections. So, hindi pa yan eh. 'Di ba? Pagkatapos ano pa ang tawag nito? Yung Marcos versus Aquino, alam mo, o Marcos versus Yelo. Kasi sabihin natin wala ng Aquino eh. Diba, Robredo? Although si Robredo likes to present herself as like parang mala modern day Cory Aquino siya, di ba? Parang gano'n ang
actually, parang nakita ko extension pa rin na Aquino because the campaign manager of Robredo was Bam.
Correct. Kaya nga gano'n. So, may shades pa rin of yung mga Aquino strategies, di ba, no?
Right.
So, parang, ako nga, di ba, ilang beses ko na nga yan sinabi, they should have learned in 2010. Kasi in 2010, di ba, an Aquino won as president. Di ba, no? Nobody's disputing that eh. Aquino won as president in 2010.
Yes.
But also, a Marcos won as senator. So ibig
Yes.
sabihin for the Filipino voters, wala na silang, hindi na yan zero-sum game sa kanila na parang if you vote for a Marcos, you will not vote for an Aquino. Or if
Correct.
you vote for an Aquino, you will no longer vote for a Marcos. Kasi very clear na in 2010 that people voted for both an Aquino and a Marcos. Diba?
Yes.
So, kaya ako nagtataka kasi, alam mo yun, talagang saan ba nila pinupulot itong mga ideas nila na ito? Kasi talagang walang any kind of intellectual basis eh. Wala akong makita eh. 'Di ba?
Well,
Very clear pa.
ganito siguro yon. If they are hiring the same PR people and campaign managers, lalong-lalo na yung mga paborito nating PR firms, no? Yung lobby groups or whatever na nagkukuha ng financing. They would probably be tinamad na to be creative and
Most
hindi na sila, most probably they're just recycling their greatest hits. Mga ganun.
Ganun na nga mangyayari dyan. Saka siguro, echo chamber na rin. Echo chamber,
Yes.
di ba? Na parang, the very same people are telling them, this is a successful formula. Let us use it again and again. Pero walang factual basis eh. Walang factual basis na successful yung formula nila eh. Kasi they tried it in 2019. Look at the kind of failure na nangyari ng 2019 na yun, di ba? No?
Correct.
So, inuulit pa rin nila yung same strategy. So, ewan ko
Maybe because Lenny has no choice. Masyado siyang na-box in sa imagery ng virginal, Our Lady of so parang holy, virginal type na imagery, yung parang makananay. In fact, kasama sa slogan nila yun, parang in the shadow of Cory Aquino. Di ba?
Yeah.
Housewife, widow of a slain political figure.
Oh, so slain si Jesse Robredo.
Which is funny because if I remember the term of Noynoy, Jesse was sidelined.
Talaga?
Remember the way yung kakabarilan niya na, I think Puno yun, yata yan. The guy was probably running the DILG and Jesse was just fill in lang eh. That's my view.
Kung sabagay. Yan din na sinasabi nila eh, di ba? Yung Luneta, yung Luneta hostage taking, wala, siya ang secretary ng DILG pero he wasn't even taking charge of that situation, di ba, no?
Correct.
Ang face of the Luneta hostage taking was ironically si Isko Moreno, who was just vice mayor. Siya ang humarap eh.
Yes.
Si Isko ang humarap doon eh, di ba? So kumbaga parang kung ikaw nga Hong Kong, parang may insulto ka eh. Kasi tipong, is this situation not serious enough for the Philippine government na isang vice mayor nung, di ba? Hindi pa nga yung mayor, di ba? Hindi pa nga yung mayor, vice mayor lang ang hiniharap nila dyan, di ba? So,
and funny doon is they were all caught flat-footed because they were eating at Emerald Restaurant.
Yun nga. Yun nga. Diyos ko. So, ano tawag nito? Ako ang tingin ko sa situation is that yun nga. May sila, they have a grand strategy, pero bulok na yung grand strategy. We have seen it before. Wala silang new ideas. Diba?
Actually, if you look at the caravan thing, it's from the old playbook din eh. Yung show of numbers. Correct.
Yeah.
It's not even, it doesn't even make sense yung caravan na yon.
Correct.
Di ba?
Maski itong tawag nito, maski itong yung if someone bribes you, tries to vote by your vote, lumang-luma na yan. So, Diyos ko, panahon pa nila Manuel Quezon yan, sinasabi. Alam mo yun?
Right.
So, that is probably one of the oldest narratives in electoral politics. So, mga parang, alam ba silang bagong alam mo yun, wala bang new tricks up their sleeves? Di ba?
But tingnan mo rin why would they say, I mean, nakialam pa dito si Sok Villegas eh. My mind is blown. Why such a morally indefensible statement? The prelate had to intervene and take the hit away from Lenny.
Ayan ang hindi ko rin alam. Di ba? No? Hindi ko rin alam. Hindi ko alam kung pinakiusapan siya o nagmagaling siya, no? Or nag-volunteer siya to take one for the team. So, ewan ko kung anong. Kasi, alam mo, napapahiya siya tuloy ngayon kasi he has a previous statement that is contradicting itong current statement, di ba?
Yes.
No? So, kung sabagay, baka sanay na siya, no? Baka sanay na siya kasi seriously, I mean, I don't know if anybody still takes Socrates Villegas seriously. I don't know kung meron pa. Ewan ko kung meron pa talagang sumiseryoso sa kanya.
Yes, kasi
diba?
masyado na siyang partisan. In his statements, pag naglalabas, lalo na yung 2016 campaign, no? Kulang na lang pangalanan niya si Duterte, pero yung mga pinagbawal niyang botohin, that's fit na fit si doon eh. President Duterte doon eh. Nahiya pa silang pangalanan eh.
So kaya nga, ano tawag nito? Damaged goods na yan eh. Kaya nga siguro hindi Kaya nga siguro hindi talaga maging number one, hindi maging Archbishop ng Maynila. Number two, hindi din maging cardinal, no? Damaged goods. I really think he is damaged goods. 'Di ba? So baka kaya nila binala na lang sa kanyon kasi damaged goods na rin naman eh, 'di ba, no? So,
right, baka may one last gamit pa rin, 'di ba? Kahit paano.
Kasi talaga tama 'yun eh. That is indefensible talaga. That is indefensible. Oo. 'Di ba? Kasi mo ini-encourage mo vote buying. 'Di ba?
Worse than that. Kung tinanggap ang pera at hindi binoto yung kandidato, that is estafa. Ginawa pang estapador rin.
Hindi. Ako nga kasi ang position ko dyan is, I don't condone it. But I do realize, as a historian, alam ko that this thing happens. Diba, no? That this thing happens. And alam ko yung reasons for it. Diba? Kasi, number one, may namimigay.
Yes.
Diba? Kaya may tatanggap. Diba? Siyempre, kung walang namimigay, di wala rin tatanggap. Diba? Tapos yung tumatanggap naman, tinatanggap niya yan kasi, katulad nga ng sinabi ko, there is no way for the briber, no, to verify kung nag-deliver ba yung binribe niya or not.
Correct. Kasi
diba?
wala namang way to validate kung ano talaga yung nilagay doon sa BCM machine eh.
Correct. That's why That's why it's a flawed system, no? Kaya nga 'di ba nung panahon ni kanino ba to? Kanino bang panahon? Panahon ni GMA yata eh. Nakalimutan ko na kung kanino, 'di ba? Mas maganda yung formula nila eh. Dagdag bawas, di ba? Yun ang, mas mas effective yun eh. Mas effective yung dagdag bawas. Kasi mas cost efficient yun, di ba? No? You don't have to pay so many people. You just need to pay yung nandun sa, di ba? Yung, ano tawag yan? Board of Electoral something.
Yes.
Siya yung buburahin niya.
Canvassers.
Buburahin niya yung isang digit, tapos lalagyan niya ng isang digit, di ba? No? I mean, that was a brilliant scheme, if I may say so. No? Brilliant yung scheme na yun kasi napaka-simple, di ba? Tapos napaka-effective. Kasi yung yung magbabayad ng paisa-isang botante, masyadong ano yan, masyadong old school yan,
Tawag
masyadong,
na retail cheating.
oo,
Doon ka na sa
masyadong
wholesale.
inefficient. Oo, masyadong inefficient yan. Kaya nga kita mo sila, di ba? In 2016, again, in the ingenious way of cheating, di ba? Dumiretso sila sa nag-ooperate ng ano, dumiretso sila sa nag-ooperate ng vote counting machine, di ba, no? Ang makapangyarihang enye.
Pero ano, speaking of that, no, during the time na may protest si BBM, he was advocating hybrid election counting.
Correct.
Di ba? Now, it's the shoe is on the other foot. The Dilawans are now crying, number one, yung transport contract ni Dennis Uy. Number two, yung dalawang outgoing COMELEC, they want to scrutinize the qualifications of the replacements.
Diba? Yan nga ang funny dyan eh. Diba? Alam mo talaga, that's why pati si Senator Drilon din. Alam mo si Senator Drilon, pag tumitira sa gobyerno, no? Parang ang unang-unang pumapasok sa isipan ko is, paano mo nalaman na ganyan ang style, Senator? Diba? Is it from previous experience or did you witness it for yourself? Kasi talagang siya napaka-vivid no? Sasabi niya, okay, dito sa pondo ng gobyerno, ganito ang gagawin nila dyan para nakawin yan, ganun-ganun. Pag-iisip ko, parang alam na alam mo masyado, di ba? No? Parang, how did you know all of that? How did you know all of that? Mukhang may mukhang may inside track ka on how things are done, di ba?
No, actually, ang theory ko dyan, invention. Ibig sabihin na, if someone is an expert, most likely he was the first one who thought about it.
Sabagay, no? Inventor, di ba? Oo. Siyempre, nobody knows more about something than the inventor, di ba? No? Than the inventor. Kaya ako, bilib na ako eh. Bilib na ako kasi talagang, parang, alam mo yun, pagdating sa ngayon na oposisyon sila, pagdating sa pag-expose ng ways to defraud the government, alam mo yun, pagdating parang sabi ko, parang, ang gagaling nito mga to parang, alam mo yun.
Pero ito question ko, if they know all these fraud mechanisms, why did they not legislate or at least institute programs when they were in power? Ngayon lang nila napansin nung sila na ngayon ang nasa receiving end.
Correct. It's the same question, not just for fraud, but for the inadequacies of the law, 'di ba?
Right.
No? Kaya nga ako, gusto ko talagang sayang isa sanang, alam mo, araw-araw nagdarasal ako sa Panginoon na sana bigyan ako ng Panginoon ng na i-appoint niya ako na tigasampal ng mga senador at ng mga congressman. Alam mo yun? Kasi I really don't like it kapag a senator or a congressman keeps complaining about the inadequacy of the system. So parang feeling ko, teka lang, wait. Hindi ba kaya ka nandyan sa pwesto ay para mag-legislate ng solutions to that problem? Bakit mo pinapasa sa amin yung problema? Why do you make it sound as if that it is not your problem, that it is our problem, di ba? It should be your problem kasi kaya ka nga nandyan sa position na yan to come up with solutions to these problems, di ba? No? Pagkatapos kaya hindi ako nila Dick Gordon, yung mga yan, yung panayang reklamo, parang feeling ko senators and congressmen should not be allowed to complain. Alam mo yon? Yeah. They should not be allowed to complain. Ano sila? Tawag nito. They should only act. Alam mo yun? They should only act. They should never be allowed to complain. Kasi dapat, for every problem na nakikita nyo, instead na magreklamo ka, file a ano tawag nito? Ano nga yung bill
Bill.
na yan?
Yes.
Oh, file a bill. Di ba? Kaysa yung nagre-reklamo ka sa amin, anong gusto mong gawin namin as ordinary citizens? What do you want us to do? I mean, anong magagawa ko as an ordinary citizen dyan? Di ba? Parang ang sarap sabihin, palit na lang tayo ng pwesto, ako na lang ang gagawa niyan. Ikaw na lang ang magreklamo dito sa pwesto ko, di ba?
Tama.
So,
Tama.
it's nasanay kasi sila sa ganyan. Nasanay kasi sila sa ganyan, yung grandstanding, alam mo yun?
Yeah.
Ano yan pandering yan pandering to
Yes.
para may maisulat yung yung media, no? Kaya
Correct.
sila nagkaganyan nagre-release. No, si Lacson, yung 120,000 na debt ng bawat isang Filipino.
Yeah.
Hindi pangdyaryo yan alam mo yon?
Yeah.
Pangdyaryo yung mga ganyang mga statements which is stupid.
Yes. Explain naman that debt is essential to an economy.
Correct. Diba? The best part about being a government is the debt. Ano yun? Kaya nga ako, isa talaga sa kinabubwisitan ko is why Cory Aquino decided to pay to honor yung mga debts nung naging president siya in 86.
Correct.
Di ba? Parang feeling ko, napakatanga mo. Napakatanga. Kasi, ang thinking niya kasi, pag hindi in-honor ng government niya yung mga debts na yon, wala na daw magpapautang sa atin. Anong kalokohan yun? Saan ka nakakita ng, kaya ako hanggang ngayon, nobody can convince me otherwise that Cory Aquino is one of the stupidest people who has ever lived. Di ba, no? Kasi saan ka nakakita na hindi magpapautang sa isang bansa? Di ba, no? Unheard of yan. Unheard of yan.
Actually, ganito yung contradiction dyan For me, they say that the debts incurred by President Marcos was immoral. Kasi hindi na kinabang Pilipino, it was just stolen. So, if there is no benefit to the people, why are they going to pay it off?
Correct. Diba? Yun nga Ako talaga dapat that debt should never have been paid. Or at least wala dapat promise to pay that debt.
No, at least to be consistent with their position na the debts are immoral and therefore hindi bound ang Pilipino to pay it.
Yes. Tsaka it is to the benefit of the country not to pay that debt. Alam mo yun?
Correct.
Kung ako yun Kung ako wala akong moral dyan Ang para sa akin is, the country is going to benefit if I don't pay this debt. Diba, no? Samantalang the country is going to suffer kapag inonor ko yung debt na yan. Diba? Kasi meron talagang magpapautang sa atin Merong magpapautang sa atin precisely because a nation, a state has assets. Meron tayong natural resources. Meron tayong businesses. We have, at that time, parang mga 40, 50 million people. Mga ganyan. So,
and money has to circulate.
Correct. No lender is going to ignore. Ganito yan ang mga negosyante, they're not going to ignore opportunities. Kasi hindi sila yayaman if they keep ignoring opportunities Alam mo yon? And ano pa bang bigger opportunity than doing business with a country with vast natural resources, with millions of people, 'di ba? With infrastructure needs, 'di ba? Ang dami. Kaya nga kita mo, President Duterte, in-announce niya lang to the rest of the world na, look, the Philippines is open for business. This is what we want. We need to build this. Ganito, magpapagawa kami ng mga dams, namin ang power problems ng bansa, infrastructure, blah, blah, blah. Kita mo, pilahan yung mga Yung mga foreign
Let me give that example. Nagkaroon ng tinatawag na judgment doon sa water concessions. Bayad kayo ng 10 billion.
Mm.
President Duterte said, I'm not paying that. He made it
Mm.
stick.
Mm. Diba? Kasi, I mean, who is going to compel us? Who is going to compel the government to do something? Diba? The Philippine government doesn't answer to anybody. Alam mo yun? Yung government is the highest authority. The Philippine government is the highest authority. So pag sinabi ng Philippine government yan, ayaw namin. Tapos yan.
Actually,
Diba?
doon ako medyo nainis sa mga amboys eh. Yung mga masyadong believe doon sa dictates ng Amerika, foreign policy ng Amerika and their direction. No, we are so fixated on looking good to the Americans and the American
Correct.
businessmen. We have abandoned our sense of sovereignty. We have abandoned our sense of self-independent foreign policy.
Correct.
And they're not even asking us to do it. Parang tayo na nagkukusa.
Saka, kung hindi pa, okay, let's not mention yung mga abstract concepts like sovereignty and whatever, di ba, no? Hindi, maghanap ka lang ng best deal available, di ba, no?
Correct.
Ang tipong, why do you always have to cater to Americans kung, for example, the Chinese are going to offer you a better deal or the Japanese are going to offer you
Correct.
a better deal?
Tama yan.
Ako wala akong loyalty sa ano eh. Wala akong
Man is
loyalty
generic
sa
eh.
ganyan. Oo.
Man is generic.
Diba?
Kahit saan galing yan, importante, may pera.
Correct. Wala akong loyalty sa ganyan eh. Kung ako government, I'm going to get the best deal available for my country. Alam mo yun? So,
Yung Amerika, maraming conditions sa loan nila. You have to do this, you have to do that. May strings
Correct.
attached.
correct.
China says, here's the money, pay us off. Tapos na.
Correct. Yeah. Ang China lang, ang problem lang ng ibang bansa sa China is that ang China kasi strictly business transaction.
Yes.
So pag nangutang ka, bayad ka, di ba?
Yes.
Tapos ang China sisingilin ka talaga. Ang US kasi pwede kang hindi singilin. Okay, sige, sabihin ng US, okay, hindi ka namin sisingilin ha. Pero awayin mo ang China para sa amin. Alam mo yun, meron silang mag-i-in-kind sila eh. Mag-i-in-kind ang US. Pero ang China kasi, kaya nga di ba nirereklamo nila yun dyan sa yung sa Sri Lanka at saka sa kung saan-saan pa man. Paano naman kasi, that was a bad financial transaction. And that's not the fault of China. That is the fault of Sri Lanka, no? Hindi nila inaral yung project na gagawin nila kasi yung China, hindi naman nagdi-dictate ang China kung anong project ang gagawin mo eh.
Correct.
Ang bibigay lang naman ng pera ang China, at saka magdi-demand siya, which is I think reasonable. Bibigay siya ng pera, magdi-demand siya, bayaran mo ako. 'Di ba, no? Oh.
Correct.
Pag hindi mo ako mabayaran, parang bangko ang China eh. Pag hindi mo ako mabayaran, I will take over. 'Di ba?
Yung Amerika kasi pag nagpahiram, nagiging leverage yung loan eh. It becomes, it has a political aspect eh.
Correct.
And then kung sakaling may kailangan sila sa'yo, pera is irrelevant to them eh.
Oo, hindi na kailangan ng pera.
Hindi na kailangan pera eh.
Oo, marami silang pera. Oo. Tama yan, ang ganda ng insight mo na yan. No? Hindi nila kailangan ng pera eh. That's why, para nga silang para silang loan shark na tipong pauutangin ka, pero hindi nila gusto yung pera mo. Gusto nila yung servitude mo. Ano mo
They
yun?
want leverage.
Oo. Hindi lang basta leverage. Ako, tingin ko talaga servitude talaga eh. Alam mo yun? Gusto ka talaga nila gawing alipin. Yung darating sa punto talaga na you can never say no to them. Diba? Ganyan ang history ng United States eh. Kunwari, tutulong sila to the rest of the world, no? Pero in reality, they don't really care about the money. Diba, no? Poison yung pera nila eh. Kasi pag kinuha mo, magiging alipin ka na to the United States. Diba? Wala talaga silang interest doon sa pera. Ang gusto talaga nila is to control yung mga governments all over the world, no?
Yes.
Now, China has no such ambitions. Ang China, pera-pera lang talaga yan. Pera-pera lang talaga yung China. This is a financial transaction. I will lend you money, you pay. If you don't pay, I will seize your assets. To me, ano yan? Ganyan ang ganyan ang bangko eh. Di ba?
Yeah.
Ganyan ang bangko eh. So, hindi ko makita kung ano ang problema doon kasi China is just acting like a normal bank that lends you money, di ba? No?
Pero pero Filipino psychology goes so well with the American way of doing business eh. Kasi tayo pag sinisingil, panay ang pakiusap.
Makikiusap. That is correct. That is correct. Yeah. That's why for many years, alipin tayo ng Estados Unidos precisely because of that transaction na sinabi mo. Diba? Na tipong makikiusap ka. Di siyempre, United States naman. Sige, pagbibigyan kita.
Yeah.
Pero hindi mo alam, pag pinagbigyan ka, mas matindi ang hihingin niyang kapalit later on. Diba, no?
Sometimes I think Filipinos have no pride when it comes to money eh.
Yeah.
Kasi pagdating doon, makikiusap, magbibig, magpapakababa ng sarili.
Correct.
Kasi it really, tawag nito, maraming times nag-iisip ako, you know the bells of, Balanggiga ba yun? We could have demanded the return for decades eh.
Correct.
Kaya lang masyado tayong indebted yung utang na loob sa Amerika or somewhere or something like that.
Correct.
Natagal hindi nila ma-justify kung bakit hindi sinosoli, but they were able to do that for many decades until President Duterte.
Kasi si Duterte walang sense of indebtedness sa United States. Wala siyang
Right.
nararamdamang utang na loob sa Amerika eh. That's why sa Amerika, give it to us. 'Di ba? Just like ganun din dito. May i-deliver ako na conference paper pagdating sa vaccine diplomacy. Malinaw din si President Duterte, give us vaccines, otherwise puputulin ko yung BFA. Diba? Ganun din. So hindi ko maintindihan bakit galit ang mga dilaw dito. President Duterte is simply doing to the Americans what the Americans have been doing to us for decades, di ba? Yung ganong estilo na tipong, okay, you want something from us, then pay. Di ba? Ganon kasi yung banat ni President Duterte dyan eh. And successful siya eh. Successful. Di ba? Bigay ng vaccine ng United States. Di ba? Bigay sila kasi otherwise, yari ang VFA. Di ba? Same thing with China din.
Speaking of BFA, I think hindi pa natin nare-review talaga ng maayos yung Mutual Defense Treaty and the VFAs eh. So, there's something wrong with, I read it, there's something wrong with it.
Well, yung MDT kasi lumang-luma na yan eh. Lumang-luma na eh. 1951 yata or something like that, yung Mutual Defense Treaty.
Hindi kasi okay, anong definition na kailan sila papasok sa giyera? If we are in a hostile situation, let's say yung nangyari sa Scarborough, papasok ba Amerikano doon if we decided to engage the Chinese? Very vague eh.
Correct. Yeah, you're correct. Diba? Na-expose yan lahat eh. Na-expose yan lahat doon sa may pangalan nito. Doon nga sa may Scarborough, diba? Na nangyari doon is hindi pala automatic. Hindi pala automatic.
Tama.
Hindi pala automatic yung Mutual Defense Treaty, di ba? Nagsabi sila doon na we cannot help you kapag kayo yung aggressor. Naku, patay na. Patay na. Di ba? Pag Pilipinas daw ang aggressor, hindi activated ang Mutual Defense Treaty. Di ba? Oh. That's why ang galing ng brinkmanship ng China doon, no? Pumosisyon yung China, girian eh, ang tawag dyan sa Filipino eh. Girian, di ba? Yung parang Hindi mo gagalawin, pero pinoprovoke mo. Di ba, no?
Tama. And it also helped the Chinese that some of our Philippine officials were so dependent on American information na auto. They back down.
Correct.
Kasi nisisi nila kay
That's why-
President Duterte.
Kaya nga, itong sa ano naman, itong yung mga swarming ng mga Chinese militia dito sa Recto o sa kung saan, yung recent na ang ganda naman ng strategy ng ang ganda naman ng management ni President Duterte. Hindi siya nag-overreact, alam mo 'yon. Tapos followed by the book yung approach. Nagpadala tayo ng army pero ng navy pero nasa Palawan lang. Hindi lumapit doon sa Tapos ang pinadala natin doon sa disputed area, yung I think Coast Guard yata ang pinadala natin, which is the correct move. Kasi pag Navy ang pinadala mo, war making ang signaling ng Navy, di ba? Whereas pag Coast Guard ang pinadala mo, okay, BIFAR yata ang pinadala natin doon. Ang signaling nun is just police, di ba? Police operations.
Internal waters natin. So we are just simply enforcing something that is done within our borders.
Kaya na kasi
It's no provocation.
Kasi si Noynoy Aquino noong 2012, para siyang parang bata na may bago siyang laruan. So, sa lahat ng pinapadala niya yung Gregorio del Pilar, no? I mean, sa lahat.
Yung bagong deliver na, Bagong luma.
Kasi lumang-luma na yun eh. Refurbished yun eh, na Coast Guard cutter ng US. Diba?
In short, gusto niya magyabang. Ang problema, maiksi.
Parang ganito yan. Di mo magyayabang ka kasi meron kang bagong bili na sasakyan, pero binili mo sa isang second hand garage. Tapos yung niyayabangan mo ay merong Ferrari. Alam mo?
Oo.
Ito nagyayabang ka na bago yung second hand which is weird, no? Kasi bago tapos second hand, di ba? Pero gano'n ang nangyari dun. Second hand yun, tapos niyayabang mo, tapos yung kalaban mo merong Ferrari, di ba? President Duterte dun sa sa Recto or Reed or whatever, nakalimutan ko na eh. Yung ABS-CBN na yun, yung nagkahabulan pa ng Chinese vote. Ang ganda nung ang ganda ng management ni President Duterte. Nanonotice ko yan eh. Pagdating sa mga ganyang mga international incidents, ang ginagawa ni President Duterte is nagpapalipas ng 1 or 2 days bago mag-respond ang Pilipinas. Kaya ang iingay
ayaw niya mag-escalate. He nuances the situation.
Correct. So, which means na talagang, tawag nito, ibig sabihin marunong pagdating sa international relations. Kasi yung mga yung opposition ang ingay na parang tipong sa ating bansa ginagawa nila to blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay, pwede ka mag-ingay ng ganyan. Pero as President of the Philippines, ang thinking ng presidente dyan is hindi domestic eh. Ang thinking niya niyan is that I am a state having, tawag nito, meron akong engagement with another state. That's why ang moves should be by the book, di ba? Para tatapatan ka rin nung kabilang state ng by the book moves. Kasi pag ikaw by the book, tapos sila hindi by the book, aggressor ang labas nila. Which is what happened to us in 2012. China was by the book. Coast Guard yung pinadala nila sa sa panatag eh. Coast Guard yung pinadala nila sa panatag. Tapos water cannons lang. Di ba? Water cannons lang yung ginagamit nung Coast Guard. By the book yun. By the book yun.
Tama yun.
By the book yun. Tapos nagpadala tayo ng hindi pala tayo. Yung tangang si Noynoy Aquino, nagpadala ng Navy. Patay na. Escalation ng
Oo.
Escalation tsaka aggression talaga ang dating.
I remember historical precedents. Pag ang Amerika may gustong bigyan ng signal na hindi nila gusto yung ginagawa ng gobyerno, nagpapaikot sila ng kanilang destroyers. So pinapaikot
Oo.
nila yung kanilang ships, lalo sa
Oo.
South America. Di
Oo.
ba? Ganun yun. We have to learn the language.
Correct. By the book yan. By the book lahat. Di ba, no? Which tells us, no, na yung Albert de Rosario, seriously, I've always been saying this, hindi ako believe sa kung ano bang supposedly merong international relations o wala eh. Kasi ang alam ko, negosyante ito si
Negosyante nga.
O hindi ito international relations practitioner o scholar eh. Wala eh. That's why sablay eh.
Ang feeling ko diyan, itong yung organization niya is after the exploitation of the natural resources there, and they cannot do that with China being present. So gumagawa sila ng series of pinipilit na magkaroon ng confrontation, hoping that magkaroon sila ng leverage in the exploitation of those resources. Billions sa pinag-uusapan dito eh.
Pero tanga nga eh. Tanga kasi, I mean, if there's any country in, I don't know of any country in the world that has more diplomatic experience than China.
Yes.
Kasi thousands of years na yung ang China, ang history ng China ay thousands na eh.
Aral nila yung yung saying something without saying anything.
Correct. In fact, I think pagdating sa diplomacy, China is the most experienced country in the world, I think. No? Wala akong maisip na wala akong maisip na country na more experienced than China pagdating sa That's why alam mo yun yung mga Chinese scholars, 'di ba? Ang hirap lang kasi is that the Chinese scholars do not write in English. 'Di ba no? Do not write in English. Pero sus Diyos ko, pag nata-translate yung mga nila, yung mga writings nila in Chinese, pag nata-translate into English, brilliant talaga. Brilliant. Yung mga thinkers ng Chinese, magagaling talaga. Magagaling.
Anyway, Prof, it's already 7:53. Medyo medyo nakasarap ang kwentuhan natin. But before we end the program, gusto ko lang basahin yung mga nag-join sa program natin. Yeah. Si Roxanne Costo, Sharon Aralid, Zepi Sabala, Noy Murillo, hello sa iyo, friend Isguera, Net Riviera, Beng Arnicilia Yaguas, Jade Recabuta de Guzman, Ninita Tangib Sublatan, Joel Mendoza, Bien Ramirez, Ana Catalandio Desinio, Arlene Tahum, Angelo Redeja from Malolos, Bulacan. Yan. Angelo, okay. Joel Mendoza, ask ko lang, may na-appoint na ba si PRRD sa CHR Capital Gaston? I don't know. Marisol Loriani, sino pa? William Rodriguez, Joel Mendoza, Eldridge Cruz, no? Cornel Bongo, Nelia Ortiz, Enrico Traqueña del Valle, Iko Cayetano, Aristotle Labrador, Tani Corpus, Teodoro Chuson, Junjun Manuel Asok, Makaraeg Joel, okay, sino pa to? Tonting Sipagan, Leticia Tori Dakanay, shout out kay Willet Dakanay of Pasig City. Sino pa ba? Yun, Makaray, si Joel to eh. Tin Reposo, Virginia Peterson. So thank you sa lahat ng nanood. I like to greet my family, Wilma and my two kids Grayson and Sophia and my mom Vilma. Kayo sir, baka may gusto kayong batiin, Prof.
Wala naman. Ano lang tawag nito? Ang masasabi ko lang, see you on Thursday. No? Maganda yung discussion namin on Thursday. Guests ko, both si Professor Ferdinand Victoria at saka si Dr. Vic Villan, pag-uusapan namin yung concept ng fact-checking, why it is terrible. No? Hindi, actually, yung on Friday, yung lalabas kong column on Manila, sa may Manila Times, yan din, yung absurdity ng fact-checking, pag-uusapan namin. Pag-usapan ko.
Yeah, ang problem ko talaga dyan is fact checking. Okay lang sana kung pages na medyo, let's say, major pages. Kasi yun talaga. Pero if you're talking about individual accounts, opinions don't need fact checking eh. Kasi yun
Correct.
ang nasa loob mo eh.
Correct.
But again, we have this absurd.
Yeah. Hindi, ito
Go ahead,
nga
go ahead.
eh. Ang fact-checking is a journalistic practice. It's a journalistic practice to make sure na yung stories are accurate before they are published in newspapers. Yan ang history niyan eh.
Yes.
Kasama yun sa isusulat ko sa Friday. Isinulat ko na pala, no? May ilalabas sa Friday. Now, ang question ko is, why are journalistic standards imposed on people who are not journalists? Yan ang question ko eh. Bakit mo inaasahan yung mga tao who are not journalists to behave like journalists? Diba? No? Ako, I'm a historian. When I talk to people na ordinaryo, no, who are not historians, hindi ko ini-expect that, sila eh. Hindi ko ini-expect na yung sophistication nila is equal to that of a historian eh. Diba? May understanding ako of yung level ng tao ng kausap ko eh. Diba, no? So, ang question ko is, bakit ang standard is the same for journalists and non-journalists? And ang answer that I can arrive at is, inaano talaga nila, sinusuppress talaga. Suppression yung answer. Kasi pag mataas ang standards mo, suppression ang habol mo eh. You don't want people to qualify. So yan ang pag-usapan.
Anyway, thank you for joining us mga kapugad. It has been a very, very fulfilling exchange of ideas with Professor Van Impe. I hope you enjoyed the program. So, binabati ko rin yung mga co-host namin na wala ngayon, si Atty. Tom Berenguer, Marica Serrano, whose birthday was yesterday, Doc Ethel Pineda, Atty. Nick Nangit, andun din si Andrew Olivar, and of course, Francis Abraham, and of course, Papi Mark Lopez. So, yun. Thank you so much for joining us. We enjoyed the evening. See you tomorrow. Manood kayo sa program with Professor Van Impe. He has a very interesting guest and interesting topic. Thank you and good night, everybody.